Eidolon001's encounter with the Scarlet King, a record from an unknown archive, classified under the Eidolon Collective. Data incomplete. Access restricted to authorized entities only. Protocol, eyewitness report from an unidentified observer. Date, redacted. Location, a place beyond time and space. Observation, first recorded contact between Eidolon001 and the Scarlet King. Background, no one knew where Eidolon001 came from. She was a shadow at the edge of reality, an entity without beginning or end, manifesting only when she saw fit. Anyone who attempted to touch her met an unavoidable fate. They turned to black dust, scattered to the wind like a forgotten thought. So how could something like the Scarlet King, an entity beyond death, a being of pure destruction and power, exist in her presence without succumbing to her touch? That was a question even she sought an answer to. The encounter. The universe trembled at her arrival, not because she threatened it, but because something like her was not meant to exist in this place. This was the Scarlet King's domain, a world where rivers ran red with blood, where bones were stacked like towers, where the screams of 7 brides still haunted the land. But she was not afraid. Slowly she stepped forward, her silhouette barely visible against the crimson sky. The air was thick, melted by the sheer presence of the being she had come to meet. Seated upon a throne of flesh and iron, the Scarlet King loomed. His eyes burned like dying stars, his form a shifting amalgamation of hatred, power, and an apocalyptic force that refused to be forgotten. At first he said nothing. He didn't need to. His existence was a declaration in itself. Then as the silence grew heavy enough to crush worlds, he spoke.
"You are not one of mine."
His voice was not merely sound, it was presence, a force that crawled into one's soul and burned it away. Eidolon001 lifted her head slightly, her eyes, if she had any, reflecting no light.
"No, I am not."
A brief pause, then a low, rumbling chuckle from the King of Ruin.
"Then why are you here?"
The conversation. Eidolon001 stepped closer. The ground beneath her withered into nothingness.
"I have seen you, seen the worlds you have broken, the lives you have taken. I do not understand what you want."
The Scarlet King leaned forward. His form shifted as if struggling to exist in something as limited as time and space.
"Want?"
He laughed, a cruel, resounding sound that fractured the fabric of reality.
"I want nothing. I am what happens when wanting dies."
Eidolon001 was silent for a moment.
"Then you are not a god."
The Scarlet King's eyes burned deeper.
"I am the god of gods who burn."
She raised a hand. The air around it emptied, an absolute void where nothing could exist.
"If I touch you..."
The Scarlet King smiled.
"I will not disappear."
The nature of the universe. The conversation continued. Two beings that should not exist in the same sphere sat across from each other, speaking of the nature of reality. Eidolon001 asked,
"Why? Why must the universe die?"
The Scarlet King answered.
"Because it is in its nature to decay."
Eidolon001 asked,
"Why not change it?"
The Scarlet King answered.
"Because I am its final form."
Eidolon001 asked,
"What of the SCP Foundation? What is their role in all of this?"
The Scarlet King answered,
"They are children playing with fire, believing they can control the flames."
The conversation stretched on for what could have been an eternity. Two beings without beginning or end, caught in a fateful meeting. The conclusion. At last, Eidolon001 stood.
"Then we are in agreement."
The Scarlet King raised an eyebrow.
"Are we?"
Eidolon001 nodded slightly.
"The universe is doomed."
The Scarlet King laughed again.
So what will you do about it?
She turned and left his domain. Perhaps she had found her answer, or perhaps she now knew that some things were beyond even her reach. As she vanished, the Scarlet King watched her go. For the first time in eons, he was uncertain of what he had encountered, and for the first time in eons, he trembled ever so slightly. End of report. Status of the Scarlet King, unchanged. Status of Eidolon001, unknown. Recommendation, continued observation. You cannot contain what refuses to be contained. Eidolon Collective Manifesto. Now go and watch another entry from the archives of the Eidolon Collective. We will be waiting.